Well, butter my buns and stick a sausage in there. It's time for yet another awful tech type YouTube thing. And this week we're wafting away the murky and pungent gases of time to try and catch an early glimpse of the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, one of the most enticing phones set to launch in 2025. Then, as always, we'll be dealing with an entirely different kind of noxious gas as we sift through a spattering of last week's viewer comments. Brace yourself. Techspert Weekly! Now, if you happen to watch my roundup video of the best smartphones of 2024, which went live earlier this week, you'll know that I picked the Xiaomi 14 Ultra as my most favourite blower of the past 12 months. And if you didn't watch that video, well, I'm just going to spoil the ending now. But you should absolutely still give it a watch though, because it means a couple of extra pence in your Uncle Spurt's pocket, and he's desperately saving up for a crate of Christmas scotch to get through the next 3 weeks of holiday bollocks. But anyway, with its Ultra phones so highly regarded by loads of tech reviewers, the weight of expectation is heavy on the upcoming Xiaomi 15 Ultra, set to launch in early 2025. The original Chinese launch was apparently set for January just next month, but according to some bloke online, this has now been pushed back because the Ultra isn't quite ready. Which makes me wonder if Xiaomi might now possibly unveil this mighty bugger at MWC 2025 alongside the global versions of the Xiaomi 15 and Xiaomi 15 Pro flagships. MWC 2025 officially kicks off on March the 3rd over in Barcelona. And as always, I'll be there getting all gropey with the latest tech when I'm not inhaling Patatas Bravas and Cruz Campo, and getting hoyed out of the W Hotel for mistaking their lobby fountain for the gents. But what do we think we know thus far about the Xiaomi 15 Ultra? Well, it's going to be yet another 6.73-inch behemoth, nothing too shocking there, with the usual bright and poppy OLED screen that will have your eyeballs spurting shiny tears of sheer joy. Leaks point to a choice of 3 different designs for the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. One of them leather, one ceramic, and one fiberglass. So whether you like it soft or hard, you're sure to be satisfied. Of course, the true highlight of any Ultra model is that camera tech, but so far the details have been a wee bit hazy in this area. The main shooter will allegedly feature another huge 1-inch sensor, most likely the same Sony LYT900 from the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. And so far there's been bugger all chat about whether the Xiaomi 15 Ultra will sport a variable aperture lens just like the 14 Ultra, although I'd be surprised if they culled it for this model as it was a major selling point of the original. And it also appears that the Xiaomi 15 Ultra will persist with a pair of zoom lenses, including a 50 meg telephoto shooter with 2 or 3 times zoom, plus an upgraded 200 meg periscope shooter for longer ranges. And this will almost certainly use a combination of that high megapixel count and also your usual smarty pants AI sharpening shenanigans in order to get really nice, crispy, finely detailed pics, even when you zoom in quite a bit. And yes, you can bet your favourite dangly part that Xiaomi will slap on the usual ultra-wide shenanigans too, making this a quad lens camera extravaganza with, of course, the usual Leica fine-tuning. As for the rest of the specs and the features, well, you can expect the Xiaomi 15 Ultra to be quite similar to the 15 Pro, which of course just launched over in China. Performance should be ably handled by Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite, the beefcakiest chipset stuffed into any smartphone right now, including the likes of the ROG Phone 9 Pro and the Red Magic 10 Pro, 2 dedicated gaming smartphones which I recently tested and absolutely blew my bollocks off as far as the gaming goes. As for the battery tech, well, it depends on which rumours you believe, but this could be anywhere between sort of 5,500 mAh and about 5,800 mAh. It's not quite as high capacity as some more recent smartphones like the Vivo X200, which powered through that 6,000 mAh battery, but still an improvement on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which is just as well because that thing just about scraped through a day at times, especially if you're really rinsing that camera. But here's hoping that Xiaomi also launches a photography kit for the 15 Ultra, which should add a secondary battery to extend the lifespan, so you can go nuts shooting those short-tune sing-alongs for TikTok.
I think I'll try defying gravity.
As for the software, well again, bugger all surprises there. That will be Xiaomi's own HyperOS 2.0, drizzled neatly all over Android 15 with a fair bit of tweaking and fiddling just to make it look all nice and fresh. And the whole thing should be wrapped up nice and neat in a hopefully not too chunky chassis that's IP69 water and dust resistant, so it can not only handle being fully submerged, but it can take a good old spurting as well. So that, my lovelies, in a tasty wee nutshell, is what we think we know so far about the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, which will hopefully launch in the next sort of 2 or 3 months and hopefully go global too. Of course, it's going to cost an absolute bloody packet, so you might want to get saving up right now, or perhaps just take a pair of pliers to Grand's gold teeth. But either way, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra and your personal wish list of what you hope the Xiaomi will improve from the previous versions into the old tappy tap down below. And now it's time for the part of the show that keeps me nice and warm in winter, mostly because it boils my piss. It's viewer comments. Viewer comments. So let's commence viewer comments this week with Jesse Boy. You read Jesse Boy, who says, Techspert Weekly 223 already. Holy crap, time flies. I just checked out Techspert Weekly #1 and you spoke so much faster back then, Chris. Jesus, that was what, like 4 or 5 years ago now, I guess. I must have started doing this shenanigans every week. Yeah, no surprise I talk a bit slow because alcohol has slowed my synapses considerably since then. Maxu says, lol, I'm French, and when I started to watch Chris's video, he was talking French. A robotic French AI voice generated by YouTube. Oh Christ, is that a thing now?
Comment oses-tu appeler 6,1 pouces d'Inky? Les données d'enquête que j'ai recueillies indiquent que c'est tout à fait adéquat. Ne vous méprenez pas, Tom, 6,1 pouces est certainement une poignée de taille considérable, mais malheureusement un peu plus petite par rapport à beaucoup de remplisseurs de pantalons de nos jours.
Bloody hell, French me actually sounds, you know, kind of intellectual and stuff. Mind you though, considering that YouTube's auto-generated subtitles are usually complete gibberish on my videos, I do kind of wonder what their AI voice translation thing has got me seeing in all these different languages. Like this bit here, I'm probably telling the whole of France that I like to rub one out to a fancy cat-looking Pokemon. Jason McMeekin says, hey Uncle Spurt, I've saved quite a few pennies and I'm looking for a phone to replace my Redmi Note 10 Pro. I was thinking about the non-Pro version of the new Oppo phone, the Find X8. Haven't seen any reviews on it. Well, apparently the standard Oppo Find X8 isn't coming out in the UK, at least not anytime soon. There's bugger all mention of it on the website or anything. There's just the Oppo Find X8 Pro on there, which is a shame because I quite like the regular Find X8, especially as it's a bit more compact than that Pro. I even did a bloody video comparing it with the Pro. But yeah, otherwise, alternatively, I would highly recommend the OnePlus 12, which should be dropping in price imminently as the OnePlus 13 is set to launch probably in the next month or so. And the 12 is still an absolute banger, and as I say, that should probably drop in price to sort of mid-range level soon enough. That Sky Philosopher says, is Uncle Spurt secretly a Persona fan? Nothing secretly about it. I really enjoyed Persona 4, which was the last one that I played back before Offspring happened, as in me reproducing, not Offspring the band obviously. And I've always really wanted to play Persona 5, which I've heard nothing but good things about, apparently even better than Persona 4, but sadly these days, let's face it, I've got just about enough time each day to have a half-hearted stab at Wordle. But who knows, maybe one day when I'm comfortably ensconced in that retirement home for YouTube, I'll finally be able to give it a go. Next up, Hellgator says, hey uncle, Infinity Nikki has released now a heavy game worthy to stress test new phones for masculine man who is ex-military airborne squad, gym rat bros, Yakuza from Tojo clan and turn a new leaf hitman. Let's do that to a new phone and see it struggle. Well, I don't know what about 80% of what you just said actually means, but I have heard of Infinity Nikki. I'm certainly tempted by it, but apparently it is super buggy right now, at least according to the reviews that I've read so far. And yeah, if I'm testing out a phone and the game's constantly crashing, that's going to send my blood pressure into dangerous new territories. The kind that has only previously been hit whenever I've turned on the telly and James f***ing Corden's been on. Plus, I've only just about finally worked out what it is I'm supposed to be doing in Wuthering Waves after weeks and weeks of playing that bugger, so I'm going to stick with that for now, and hopefully Infinity Nikki, when it's a little bit less bulky, will be the replacement for that. On the subject of the Nothing Phone 3, which was the topic of last week's whatever this is, Moto Matt says he hopes that the regular one is an iPhone-sized 6.1-inch blower, with the Pro being the given-handed option. Fed up with massive phones. And likewise, Mr. Watermelon says, my prediction, the 3A will be a compact phone from nothing. Well, he did actually tease a compact phone not so long ago. Unfortunately, it was on April Fool's Day. It was the Nothing Phone 2A Micro. Obviously did not exist at all. It's a complete piss rip, and the fact that they are doing a piss rip on compact smartphones makes me wonder, will they actually ever release a mini mobile? Possibly not, which is a real bloody shame. Because yes, I wholeheartedly agree. Why does every bloody smartphone these days have to be the size of King Kong's thong? Commando Xbox says, what I like the most about Nothing as a Nothing Phone 1 user for 1.5 years is just how snappy the software is and how good that Nothing UI is. Even with underpowered hardware, the animations are so snappy and well optimized. Yeah, agreed. It's a nice light launcher, certainly compared with a lot of rivals, so feels nice and smooth. Kazuke11 says, why not introduce an alert slider on the Nothing Phone? After all, Cole made it. Yeah, I'm not sure if OnePlus Mobile holds a patent on the alert slider, and therefore only OnePlus and its sibling companies like Oppo can slap one on their smartphones. That would be pretty banging though. And on the subject of performance, Gautam T9320 says, so there will be no Snapdragon 8 Elite processor for Nothing phones. Well, never say never, but it's not really Nothing's style. They don't tend to go for the fastest, freshest chipset. They tend to go for a slightly older, slightly more basic model just to cut costs. And as Commando Xbox says, it's not like they even need to go for the fastest, most powerful chipset because Nothing OS just runs really nicely on whatever. Oh, and also, Uncle Spurt did balls up slightly last week. I think I said that the 7S Gen 3 was slightly more powerful than the 7 Plus Gen 3. What I actually meant is it's just more modern than the 7 Plus Gen 3. It was released later. Of course, the S model is always slightly more efficient usually, but slightly less powerful than the regular model. So yes, apologies, your Uncle Spur might have been slightly in his cups when he made that statement. And moving onwards, John O'Andrews says, Chris, where is that Space Invaders lamp from? I want one. I think I need to do a new jingle really, because I'm getting asked this pretty much every week now. Unfortunately, I'm knackered, I'm hungover, and I am just generally bereft of creative talent, so this is the best I can manage. Space Invader, ooh, from the stars, yeah. Space Invader, ooh, did you come far? No, twinkly.com. SSO Records 1 says, Diglett, when evolved, he's kinda OP. Okay, Diglett is the turdy Pokemon that I took the piss out of last week. What is OP? Yeah, that one's... And what on earth does a demented looking turd actually evolve into, dare I ask? Is his final form Jake Paul? And Noisy Boy says, it's that time of year again when I ask, will there be a Techspert Weekly Christmas special this year? Well, next week, what the f*** is next week? Yes, my friend, this time next week there will be a Christmas special version of Techspert Weekly. And when I say special, I mean like the special needs version of special. So bust out your best festive booze and come get cozy on Santa Spurt's lap. We'll have a cracking old Christmassy time. Cracking old Christmassy time, absolutely not guaranteed. And of course, all the usual techie bollocks throughout the rest of the week. I've got a few little bits of my to-do pile still to plow through, so yeah, stay tuned for all of that. A massive thank you again to everyone for following me all the way to the bitter end of this shower of shit. You guys is awesome, I loves you, I'm not just saying that because I'm semi-soused. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell if you haven't done already. Make sure you have yourself an absolutely corker of a weekend. Cheers everyone, love you!